Have you ever seen anything like it in your life on how the NDP have tried to regulate housing affordability and supply? I don't think in all my years I've seen such poor results with so many billions and billions of dollars invested as to what was supposed to deliver us affordable homes for people. Vacancy tax, taxation on Airbnbs and regulating that, the impacts to tourism. Now the latest thing that everybody's laughing about, frankly, is the removal of a stairwell in a apartment building that has got fire officials upset. Well, of course it has. It's a public safety matter. We don't put these things into building codes for no reason. The NDP have sort of simply lost or never understood what goes into the cost of building something. It's the cost of land, it's the cost of materials, it's the cost of going through the regulatory process, and it's the supply of labor and the cost of it. There are so many factors in this, and then there's the interest costs of borrowing, and then there's frankly, the cost of government, which if you take a look at all the efforts that the NDP have gone through to try and supposedly create more affordable housing, literally every dollar they've gone into has just driven up the cost of housing. The NDP have driven 88,000 people that are younger out of this province. They didn't leave because they want to go and live in Alberta. They left BC because they had to. And this is the secondary consequences of making legislation, thinking that you're going to cure a problem without actually taking a close evaluation by checking in with industry, checking in with all the relative stakeholders, checking in with the opposition, who will also give you a sober second thought on whether you've got this right or not and whether you're going to meet the objectives. Because that's what good governance is all about, is making sure you've got it right. Because if you don't, you need to pay the price. You know, doing things like the whole suite of bills, Bill 44, 45, 6, and 7, nothing in public. Just brought it in and never issued out even the report, the singular report that informed 4 pieces of significant legislation that in my riding will impact Pitt Meadows by 30,000 additional doors with zero consideration to official community plans, the needs for recreation centers, sewer, drainage, parks. The list is endless, and frankly, if we're going to go be considerate towards our environment, how's this going to work on cars and getting our sensible decisions with respect to our polluting? This is just the kind of reckless, ill-considered policies that are being put through and laws that aren't impacting anything in British Columbia for the positive. Frankly, the NDP has proven that they just don't simply understand, and if they think that they do, they're not asking anybody else for their opinion. That's a very reckless way to govern. Right now, I can imagine what it's like over in the Premier's office every day, where they're getting together without the ledge in session and blasting off pieces of stuff on napkins and saying, here, put this through. Eliminating stairwells. How much process was there on that? Well, on Bill 44, 5, 46, and 47, the report was demanded by the opposition and was delivered to the public 1 week after it was given royal assent. Now, that is reckless governance. And, British Columbia should be punishing the NDP for this kind of governance. Many leaders in political parties have run their political business, if you will, out of either the Premier or Prime Minister's office, and they've always paid the price. I'm thinking Stephen Harper, I'm thinking Christy Clark, there's several. And now David Eby is doing the same. In fact, since he's entered office for 2 years, he's been making most of his decisions right out of the Premier's office. And as far as I'm concerned, that's disrespectful to democracy. It's disrespectful to the public. It's disrespectful to the very purposes that you said that you were going to try and resolve: healthcare, housing, the economy. There's literally nothing that he's gotten right by consulting people within his own office that frankly aren't qualified or don't have the same skin in the game that want to try and help solve these problems for people in British Columbia. And the exodus is the breathtaking and the saddest thing that's happened. I just can't even believe that this is happening. And all these ER closures, with 400,000 people in the civil service and 165,000 people in healthcare. We can't staff an emergency in various hospitals throughout BC. This has gone out of control, and it's time to fire the NDP. Lock, stock, and barrel. They need to go. They need to be sent to the backbenches here, and bring in a common sense government that you might think are quite the eclectic crew. You know what? With an entire fresh set of faces, with some seasoned experience here. You're going to get a lot of great conversations happening around the table that will deliver some good common sense product that I am absolutely convinced will go through the public and it's going to take some time. You think this is going to get sold overnight? The state of British Columbia right now is in very, very serious shape. I personally considered leaving BC last year with my family and did the evaluation and couldn't do it. I just couldn't leave my own community. Why? Well, BC people love BC. It's just like Canucks fans, right? We're not deserting. So I'm here to stand up for my own community and stand up for BC Conservative, good family values, good common sense policies here. They're going to drive down the cost of living, put more money back in your pocket, give us our lives back, frankly, because the NDP has tried to regulate us into submission in so many walks, if you take a look at them all. And as I'm talking to the public a lot currently over the last 2 months, I feel like everyone's in submission. They've just been beaten down by systems that don't work, that they depend upon, and the fact that they don't have enough money, and they're not quite fully sure why all this is happening. And it's happening because government's interfering with literally everything in their lives. And they need to take a step back and let some free market economies do what they need to do, and let some common sense come back into Victoria to let people do what they need to do, which is to thrive and live and be healthy and well and safe. Mike Gordon, BC Conservatives, Maple Ridge, Pitt Meadows.